Hey guys, welcome back to another episode about a Brennan World, to another Fortnite Save the World video, to a very special episode, which is going over all of the Mythic Storm King weapon schematics. So yeah, so these are of course the very first Mythic schematics in Fortnite Save the World, the first 5. I've heard a lot of people talking about that they want some more. I kind of want a shotgun because you guys know Pulsar 9000, easily my favorite weapon in the game, has been for a long time, and I think it's like super OP, but I absolutely love it. But I would like to see like a Mythic shotgun to see just something that could maybe contend it, because as of right now, I don't see anything that could even come close to breaking or stealing the throne of my Pulsar 9000 for shotguns for me. But yeah, we'll have to see. So yeah, make sure to use supported creator code BW2 in the item shop. Yeah, so as of right now, I just have some gameplay of my last game to get my last Mythic schematic. This one we didn't even have any communication. So I just recorded this one because this was actually my last game. And yeah, you guys know on the last video, the Fortnite Mythic schematics video, I said that I could not defeat him, and I was hoping that I was going to get all of them, but I was just, at that point, I was just hoping to at least get one of them. But yeah, here I am with all 5 of them. This is as soon as you can have all 5 of them. There is like a glitch where you can get multiple, but you guys know we don't use glitches and exploits around here. So yeah. And they'll probably get taken out of people's inventories anyway. Yeah, so I've actually beat it 7 times overall, but as you guys know, you can only get 1 per week. So yeah, so I got, you could get 2 the first week, so pretty much everyone on the Discord server and everything got 2 in the first week, including me, and then you got 1 every week after that. So yeah, so there's 5 schematics, but since you could get 2 the first week, it took 4 weeks to get all of them. But yeah, so absolutely so happy that I have all 5 of them. They are all easily top tier weapons and definitely just amazing weapons. So yeah. But yeah, so this one I actually did it first try, cuz usually I feel like you don't, like, if you're doing it with a new squad, you don't usually do it first try. Yeah, I actually did it. Usually it took me about 2 or 3 tries, but because I usually did it with a new squad, like almost every time, from people with Discord, just to help other people out and whatnot. But the last 2 times I did it, I actually did it first try. So yeah, so that's pretty darn good. But yeah, so I don't know if I'm gonna run it more in the future. I might. But as of right now, I got the 5 Mythic schematics. I'm gonna take a break to, of course, restock on a whole bunch more mats, because of course it's pretty expensive to run on nuts and bolts and batteries and whatnot. Yeah, so that's pretty much that. Yeah, so basically the launcher, like I was saying, like top tier, I would say like it's a top tier launcher, but it's not like really like a launcher that you'd use all the time. Because it's actually kind of just like a single shot, high ammo cost, like kind of laser beam, but it's not like a launcher you would think of, like most just exploding launchers. Yeah, so because the only way you can actually hit multiple enemies with it too is if you charge it up, of course, which when you do that, it's absolutely amazing. But if you want to just do some area damage without having to charge up stuff and whatnot, you might as well just use a deatomizer 9000. But yeah, so I actually was very lucky and got the launcher first try. If you were on the Discord or whatever, you probably have seen everybody wanting the launcher first, and that's because it is like the new best weapon to use against the crystal weak points. As you can see, I'm either one-shotting them or two-shotting them here. Yeah, so, yeah, very, very good. So, luckily I got it the first try, so it made every run after that a whole lot easier. Yeah. Also, if you guys are wondering what wraps, because you might be thinking, like, none of the wraps work on the Storm King weapons, there are a few that do. I only have, I have a ton of wraps, but out of all my wraps, only one of mine actually works on the mythic weapons, which is the magma wrap. But yeah, if you want to see what wraps do, Demon Joe France actually made a whole video going over that whole thing. So go ahead and check that out if you want to see that. Yeah. So using my special surround pound that somebody crafted for me, because I didn't want to spend all my perk on that. Get that. But yeah, and then here we go on the finishing touches to finish him off. But yeah, and then we'll talk about all the other weapons. I just want to get that out of the way with the launcher. Really, now that I've defeated the Mythic Storm King, got all 5 of them, the only things I think I'll usually use a launcher for is probably just like epic mini bosses, probably like some mist monsters, and like endurance. It's actually good against like mini bosses, smashers, and definitely the UFO. Yeah, so that's pretty darn good, but we'll talk about all the other weapons. So yeah, there we go. So completed it once again. So opening up the caches here to get the last mythic schematic, which the last one I got is the sword. So yeah. So right into it here. So yeah, this is where I'm just showing where I'm gonna perk it up. But yeah, so now getting right into it. So here are all the schematics on the wall. As you can see, absolutely cool, like just all of them, since they're like the same level rarity and whatnot. They're just all on the wall. So got all the Storm King weapons on the wall back there, which is really cool. As you can see here, all 5 mythic weapons. So yeah, so then those are all my current 130 max perked weapons, all the favorited ones, of course. The only other thing I have max perked down there is my gas traps, because again, all the other traps do perfectly fine without being max perked. So yeah, so I will show the rolls of all of them each in pictures. So if you want to see the rolls on them, here are the pictures. If you need to, just pause on any of these. I find these to be the best rolls, but you can put whatever you want. These have a lot of roll options, so they're very versatile. But yeah, so that is that. And you can also see the special perks on them, because they are very special perks. So yeah, so also to compare the Storm King's Fury with the Surround Pound, they are very, very close. I'll talk about it more later, but I'm almost kind of on the side of the Surround Pound for this one. But they're both very good in the same ways, and they do have the same rolls, the same exact rolls. But yeah, we'll talk about them more later. But then comparing the Storm King's Ravager to the previous best sword in the game, the Spectral Blade, as you can see, crit damage is a lot better. The only roll that's different is Storm King's Ravager has attack speed, and Spectral Blade has a damage roll, but that's it. And also damage to slowed and snared targets. So yeah, because the 5th perk can only be the perk according to the 6th perk. So yeah, so getting into the gameplay. So here is the AR. Honestly, my new favorite AR, and yes, that's even over the Pain Train. The Pain Train's still like my favorite for like looks and uniqueness and stuff. You guys know Pain Train has always been my favorite weapon ever since I started, or my favorite just my favorite weapon, like AR and whatnot, because I used it like just all the time. But yeah, you can see the launcher, charge it up, and it hits multiple enemies, and you can also single shot it for more. But yeah, right there, you can see it just wiped out the whole thing. And I actually wiped out a whole 130 power level 130 or power level 140 encampment with a 106 one. So yeah, so this thing is pretty insane when it's charged up and whatnot. You can see it has pretty fast fire rate as well. Yeah, so then the hammer, the melee weapons have like mixtures of special attacks. So as you can see, it actually has a leap attack, and then you can get stacks. And you guys know that this was my most hyped up for like side perk, because you guys know I've been talking about like the raining down asteroids, and this is the weapon that does so. So it's so awesome. Yeah, and it's literally the Storm King's hand. It has like realistic hand movements and whatnot. Yeah, so that's that. You can see charging up right there, just wiped out about half the encampment right there. So yeah, but if they're bunched up a lot more, you can definitely one-shot it. So yeah, so you can see the AR. But yeah, so just the AR is just like, it's a lot of people compare it to the Wraith, which you guys know I'm not a huge fan of the Wraith. But it's just, I mean, it doesn't do too amazing at first, but then as soon as it hits, it applies charges, and then like every 3 shots, a charge will explode. And then once those start exploding, it just shreds. So yeah, so you can see the hammer, we'll go back to that in a second. Hammer right there just looks the same, but the more hits you get, the more the crystals glow, and you can see those orbs there. That actually indicates how many stacks you have, which means how many asteroids you're gonna, or meteors you're gonna spawn. So yeah, so you can see the more I hit enemies, we're just gonna hit right here until we get max 7 stacks. Then I'll show you what the heavy attack looks like with all 7. So as you can see, that is how the hammer looks maxed. Looks very cool, especially when you're running and whatnot. And then you can use that, and then here you go. So yeah, just rains down asteroid or meteors, just so cool. I was absolutely hyped for that, as you guys know. But yeah, back to the AR. So it's also, honestly, you can see that rock I'm aiming at right now, how just pinpoint accurate it is. It is honestly like the most accurate gun in the game I've ever seen. And you can see how long you can shoot it without it needing to overcharge. I don't even have any perks, and I think that's perfectly long. Yeah, around 40 continuous shots. I've never had a problem with having to recharge it, so it's pretty much good without any perks. Because usually any enemy will die by the time it needs to overcharge. Yeah, so that is that. But yeah, so AR, definitely my new main, like, fully auto weapon, even over the Silent Spectre, even over my Pain Train. So yeah, so pretty darn crazy, and you can see it also, like, just has range. You can see, I am shooting, that lobber all the way over there, which is pretty good for an AR. And you can see the charges, they also do damage nearby enemies. Yeah, so, and of course the sleep attack does target onto enemies, which is also very nice. So yeah, so pretty darn nice there. But some bad things about the hammer is why I kind of still like the surround pound better is, of course, yeah, and also, these are, just before I say that, these are mythic weapons, so you cannot drop them. Thank God, there was a glitch, but it got patched, luckily. Yeah, so you cannot drop the weapons, as you can see, the drop button's just not even available to be clicked. But yeah, back to the hammer. The thing about it is the heavy attack, it doesn't go through, the heavy attack on the surround pound, you can use it and then it will go through, it will like go under or through Riot Husky's shields, and it will like knock them down and damage them and whatnot. But this one, I'll show in a second, but it rarely, like, you have to get a meteor to land right on their head if you want it to affect them, because it rarely actually affects them, which kind of sucks. But it does go through shield bubbles, which is nice, but the surround pound did too. But then the other thing is, of course, it rains down meteors, which, I mean, you can't do if you're under anything. So if you're underground, you're in a house, a building, whatever, you cannot use it with this. And the other bad thing is right here, it has stacks, and as soon as you switch to any other weapon, as you can see, all my stacks just went away. So yeah, but the thing about the surround pound is you can use the heavy attack over and over again as long as you have enough energy. But this one you have to get stacks. So yeah, you can see the shielder right here. He's missing his shield his shield's like just kind of a glow right there for some reason. But yeah. So, as you can see, I'm getting my stacks right here back, but yeah, all stacks go away as soon as you switch weapons, use it, or even pull out your hoverboard or build. So as you can see, I did it, like 5 meteors, absolutely nothing, and then I'm going to do it again right here and still get absolutely nothing. So yeah, so that's that. Same thing with the sword, but the good thing about the sword is, like, it's a weapon that you can use a lot more by itself without needing to switch to stuff. With this, I don't know, I just switch to stuff a lot, so it's kind of a problem. But I do definitely like the hammer. Very, very unique and very cool. So yeah, but you can see the charges right here. Every time a charge explodes, it just absolutely slaps them. And the other cool thing about the charges, as you'll see in a second, you can actually shoot an enemy, and then if you don't shoot them again for a little bit, a couple seconds later, then a charge will go off and then they'll explode anyway. But then the other thing is if you shoot an enemy and then shoot a different enemy, the first enemy that you shot a charge will go off on them. So yeah, so very, very cool. That's why that's like my new favorite AR. Just the crit damage and everything is just insane on the AR, and also all these weapons again look awesome. So as you can see, the charge just went off on that enemy. But yeah, so overall the hammers are just so close, but I do say that I probably still like the surround pound better, just because I think the heavy, like, I do really like the leap attack. That's very nice for when you get crowded on by mobs, because it happens way more than it should. But also, you can see right here, I'm going to do it again, shot him, and then he just exploded. So yeah, so, but it just sucks how you can't use them. It doesn't go through structures or anything. But yeah, so that's it for the first three weapons. Now onto the pistol and the sword. So yeah, so as you can see, the sword is literally the Storm King's, one of his horns. As you can see, very fast. And that's like the basic floor heavy attack, and then when you're in the air, it has the Spectral Slash or whatever, which the only other weapon that is on is the Spectral Blade. So yeah, as you can see right here, people call this pistol the FaZe Jarvis pistol, and we'll talk about that more in a second. But as you can see, the sword right now, I'm hitting enemies and getting the stacks I was talking about, and then right here, yeah, there's the Storm Slash. So you literally, I mean, it's basically the Spectral Blade with the Noble Launcher mixed in with it, and it just shoots a wave. You can't angle it, it only goes straight, so you gotta kind of hard on if you're trying to shoot enemies like on a curve or whatever. But yeah, you'll see that can damage people or enemies without any charges too. You just have to be close to them. But yeah, and also the range on it is amazing. I'll show it in a second, but yeah, the range is a lot farther than I thought it was going to be. You can see you still can kind of hit people on the slopes. But yeah, the pistol, why it's called the FaZe Jarvis pistol is because it's literally aimbot. Yeah, so you can see the range right here on the sword. Pretty darn good. I don't know how many tiles exactly it is. I'm pretty sure it's like 8 or so. But yeah, the pistol literally it locks onto heads. That's why I have a headshot damage. The only other weapon that I have that on is my Jack's Revenge. But yeah, so you can see the range right there, pretty darn good. And of course, with the stacks on that, I'll talk about it more, but it gets bigger and longer. Yeah, so you can see it literally locks on to heads. You can see it, I'm shooting from all the way over here, just aiming at one spot, and it's curving to hit the heads right there. Very satisfying to watch, because the range is a lot longer than I thought. And as you can see, when you're shooting, aiming down sight, it lowers your fire rate by 50%, but you can lock onto heads by 12 tiles. But when you are, while you are just hip firing, you have full fire rate, so very fast like an SMG, like I just showed. But it only locks onto heads from 4 tiles. And also I've noticed a lot of blank shots, so hopefully they fix that, but usually I only use it when aiming down sights, because if you're not, I mean, it doesn't lock onto heads from that far, and it just, like, does not do, much. So it misses so many shots or whatever. So yeah, as you saw, that sword was actually the top charge. As you guys saw, this one, how you can tell how many charges you have is the crystals will start glowing a lot like the hammer. But also you'll get a lot more lightning effects, and it will make more and more sound effects, and you'll get more like lightning on the sword and whatnot. So yeah, so that's that. So yeah, so and then also of course the beam will get longer. So as you guys saw that, like that was my max one, but then the one that I just did in the previous scene, that was actually the minimum amount of charges. So the minimum amount of charges is just like a little kind of just beam that shoots, but max charges, it's a whole storm wave. So yeah, so and also locks onto Taker's heads, which is surprising because I didn't even know they really truly had heads. But yeah, so definitely just absolutely love all these weapons. And yeah, of course with the spectral slash, you can take fall damage, or you can avoid fall damage, as you can see here. But yeah, that is pretty much it for all the weapons. So if you haven't got them, I definitely recommend getting them. If you're not high enough power level, I definitely recommend grinding up to them and until you can get them. But yeah, definitely just so happy to finally have all of the weapons, and yeah, so but that's pretty much it. I think I said pretty much everything I wanted to on the weapons. But yeah, I just figured I would do like kind of like a review or overview on all these weapons, as like because I've never done one like on a full set on my channel before, but this is like, this is the most special, easily the most special weapon set that's ever come to Save the World so far. So yeah, and I will probably do an updated one if any more mythic weapons come to the game, and we'll cop those. But yeah, with all my perk up, I 130 max perked every single one of them as soon as I got each one, which was very nice, and I still have a lot left over, surprisingly. I'm just always grinding that perk up, re-perk and whatnot. But also the pictures that I showed, I actually put those in the order that I got the weapons. Yeah, so I got the launcher or the Wrath first, and then the AR second, the Scourge, which is cool because those are actually my two most wanted weapons to get first. So that's awesome. And then I got the hammer. I did want the hammer the most, or I did want the hammer next, but then I saw the sword and I was just like, oh, actually I kind of want the sword next, but it gave me the hammer. But yeah, so then I got the pistol, and then lastly I got the sword. But yeah, just very happy to finally have all of them. Looks awesome in the locker, the inventory, and just like on the little back thing on the armory tab. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for this video. So I'm just trying to think of anything else I wanted to say, but overall, AR probably definitely like my favorite fully automatic weapon in the game now. Sword, easily my favorite sword schematic. Because the only other one I have is the Spectral Blade. I do kind of like how the Spectral Blade looks more still, but the Ravager still isn't that far behind. But the Ravager, I mean, it's basically the Spectral Blade, but with a Noble Launcher ability and a lot more crit damage, so why not? But yeah, it's also, I would say the sword is probably the most fun weapon to use out of all of them. Pistol, probably not my favorite pistol, because I compare it to the Plasmatron for some reason, and I, believe it or not, I just absolutely love the Plasmatron 9000, and I still would say overall that's still my, like, favorite pistol. I don't know if I said that on my 130 max perk video, but I would say that's probably my favorite pistol. But also I just feel like, it's compared to that, like, you can compare, like, the Hot Mix, and, also it's, like, it really feels like the Blastatron Mini and whatnot. But yeah, there's only a few things that you can actually compare to it, because I don't feel like I could compare the Jack's Revenge or the Ginger Blaster to that weapon, because it's more of an SMG than a pistol, honestly. But yeah, hammer, probably my second favorite one, of course, right after the Surround Pound. And yeah, the launcher, absolutely love it. It's just I don't know if I can't really compare it to my other launchers, like my Santa's Little Helper and Deatomizer 9000. But yeah, just Storm King, Mythic Storm King, if I do it in the future, I will, but to get some more weapons for my collection book, or if they add more Mythic weapons. But as of right now, that's pretty much it. So yeah, it was a pretty darn fun journey getting all of the weapons over the past 4 weeks, and definitely a challenging one. And yeah, but I think that's pretty much it for this video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you want more videos like this, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all later. Bye!